Folks, this is Broward County. This is a beach in Broward County, 5:30, maybe 5:40 p.m. on a Monday. And I know Florida is typically really quiet this time of year, but take a look at this. The beach is just absolutely vacant of anybody except for these two folks here. And folks, we're talking about a huge population that lives in South Florida. I have never seen it this quiet, even this time of year. This is the best time of year to actually visit Florida if you can put up with the heat and the rainstorms that are coming through and the potential hurricanes that may hit. But no less, it is just freaking quiet. I don't know what your neighborhood is like where you live, if you live outside the state of Florida or you live outside of South Florida. But in general, it seems much quieter than normal. I mean, it probably has a lot to do with the markets. Stock markets has a lot to do with all kinds of things, political upheavals, political nonsense, economic nonsense, you name it, and including markets just going haywire, including gold and silver markets. Well, gold and silver markets have always been haywire, but take a look at this, just dead quiet. I think that these two folks, is that a cooler behind them, a little bit of wine? I'm going to imagine a little bit of wine or whatever their preferred drink is. This couple is just enjoying themselves. 84 degrees here. Not sure what your temperature is, but South Florida, we got two temperatures here, warm and warmer, or maybe hot and warm. No, that's not really true. As I said, we do have our cool temperatures like during the winter months, which is coming up here. So I imagine a lot of you northeastern folks and you folks that live in more cooler climates than we do in South Florida are starting to enjoy a little cool down as well. What did I say? It was 81 degrees. Let's take a look here. I'm just curious. 84 degrees, yeah. 5:41 p.m. This is the Monday evening wrap-up. It's Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Mineral. I think I said this already. And conciergebullion.com. For our Monday night, not much to talk about. Market's kind of sideways overall, up a little bit. Let's take a look at gold, 1676.38. Kind of marching back up to that 1700 level. Let's see what happens again. I never want to underestimate how crooked these markets are when it comes to gold and silver and platinum, and some interesting stuff here in platinum if you haven't noticed of late as well. Silver held very well to the $19 level, considering that before gold took its giant shit last week and to these sub $1,700 level. And of course, I mentioned it in my earlier video that Ted Butler kind of said it, man. The dude nailed it like a week before gold plummeted below 1,700. Ted Butler kind of nailed it. He said that there was some huge shorting going on in the gold markets by the, I'm not sure if he said the commercials or whether it was the managed money or whatever it was, but no less. He said it was unusual that he saw much larger short positions in gold last week than normal, while not so much in silver, and there you go, right there. That's exactly what we're seeing. 1957 silver still holding on to that 19 plus mark, although we did see sub $19 silver last week. I forget how low it got, 1840, because I don't focus on it that much. I know it's just a temporary thing, and really not just temporary, but beneficial for the people that have the opportunity to buy at these lower levels. For the folks that are already bought in, I'm sure they're kind of disappointed. They don't like to see these lower prices. I don't really like to see them either. No one does that's been bought into silver for a long time. But again, don't look at gift horse in the mouth. And if you don't have the ability to buy more at these lower levels, be thankful that the people that haven't bought in yet do. It'll just make our case much stronger, more stronger hands when we got physical metals out there in the hands of people, that, especially if they bought at this sub $20 level. Well, it's platinum. You know, one of the interesting things I've been noticing, I've said this for like quite some time. I hate putting time frames on anything because, again, my when I think about how long ago something happened, when the last time I went to this place or that place, or when the last time a gold was at this level or somebody said this, once it gets beyond a day or two, I lose my time of reference. I don't know if it's a month or 3 months. But platinum, a long time ago, I was saying that platinum, it seems that platinum's been leading the way. I know I always say that gold's the big, the older sibling that leads the way, and platinum and silver follow, silver being the more crazier of the three siblings there, platinum, silver, and gold. But platinum has kind of seemed to, when it started to decline, before the price of gold and silver started to decline from our $1,800 and $1,900 and $2,000 levels, platinum has seemed to have done it beforehand. We've seen the gold and silver in the green. All of a sudden I started seeing platinum in the red, and then platinum in the red even more. Gold and silver following slightly thereafter. But the difference here is that I believe I've seen platinum bounce off its bottom, which was the mid $800 level. And look, it's been in the green of late. I think for the last week or two, other than a few shots downward, but overall platinum seems to have bounced off its bottom and seems to be heading upward. And gold seems to be following as well as silver, but silver is just, man, silver's just fucked up. The whole price discoveries for silver is just so screwed up. I don't even know how to explain it. Much more so, in my opinion, than the price of gold, and maybe not so much in platinum. I don't understand how that market is entirely made. Maybe that market's even more screwier and more effed up than the silver markets as far as the COMEX, the commodities markets like the LMBA and the COMEX, and wherever price discovery is made in these crooked markets. Well, anyways, I was just going to start wandering off like I normally do, but I'm going to keep this video short tonight, folks. Palladium, kind of interesting, $2,200. Palladium's been sitting around that $2,000 plus mark. I don't follow it much. Hardly anyone buys it, so I don't even know why I'm bringing it up right now. But all these metals right here, other than palladium, which we never talk about and I don't follow, gold, silver, and platinum seem to be great deals, folks. I mean, I believe that all three of these metals, along with probably a lot of other commodities out there, including stocks, bonds, and equities, are heavily manipulated. And gold, silver, and platinum have been so heavily manipulated to the downside for so many, especially silver, for so many decades. There are times when it got loose, it traveled up to its $50 mark, but it's just been so monkey hammered for so long. But what has that provided you the opportunity to do? It's provided you an opportunity to buy a real. I've always said that gold, silver, and platinum are about wealth preservation, and we keep making the new lows are always higher than the old lows. Okay, so we march up a little bit, we march back some, we march back up more. It's kind of like with gold, silver, and platinum over the decades. You take 3 steps forward, you take 2 steps back. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, and sometimes it's it takes over a period of time, but the overall movement, even with that 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, is upwards. And what is the reason for that? It's because of fiat currency. It's because of the dollar buying less and less and less, and gold and silver and platinum, especially gold and silver, doing exactly what it's supposed to. Keeping up with the times, at the very least, keeping up with inflation. Because that's what gold and silver has done. It's done very well with keeping up with inflation, if you think about it, compared to the dollar and some other things. Well, anyways, let me get out of here and talk about the charts, which, the silver charts are just broken, in my opinion. Again, the silver price discovery, the price discovery of silver is just broken. The price is determined. Today's current silver prices are determined in the criminal COMEX markets, and really those markets are just so crooked and screwed up. But again, to the downside. Fortunately, to the downside, which is not good for folks that have been sitting and waiting for the price of silver to go up, but is good in the fact that it allows more and more people in stronger hands to buy physical silver at super cheap prices, and this is better for the long term as well. Folks, for you old stackers out there that have been waiting for this price of silver to go up, trust me, the more hands we got in silver, the more people that we got buying silver and taking silver off the market privately, the better the long-term price of silver and gold is going to be for all of us. Well, let's take a look at the chart here. markets are up in the Crimex markets on gold and silver. I'm so bored with these charts. I'm sorry. That's why I'm just kind of glossing over them, because you can make a big deal about these charts, especially when they're going down, about how criminal these markets up, and then when they're going up, you realize, oh, you're happy, like, oh my gosh, the markets are going up right now. But it's hard to be happy when you realize that this is still criminal bullshit activity that's going on, whether it's from the downside or to the upside. And what is the one thing that makes that all okay? Because no matter what, at the end of the day, the price of gold, silver, and platinum are so artificially depressed that it gives people, especially stackers out there and new stackers, the ability to just keep adding more of this real precious metal to their portfolios, or to your stacks, more or less. And you're not buying into the paper fiat system. That is really the worthless part of this whole price discovery. All right, I'm just so tired of talking about it. It's been a long day here, and I'm kind of starting just to blabber here a little bit, I got to admit. Well, what's the best deals out there? The best deals out there are 100-ounce bars, kilo bars, 10-ounce bars, and 1-ounce generic. And I'm talking about the generic products out there. The sovereign products are still too much money, but as far as Silver Eagles, avoid them. 90% and still very expensive. So stay away from constitutional silver. In fact, my advice has been to, if you own constitutional or Silver Eagles, sell your Silver Eagles, sell your constitutional. Not really sell them, but trade them to your local dealer or myself here, if you've got enough of it to make the trade worthwhile, and trade in for more silver, generic silver, because the premium is just too high on Silver Eagles right now. And the same thing with 90% constitutional silver. You could trade your, for example, I think, what is it? The buy price on Silver Eagles is what, between $6 and $8 right now on the wholesale level for 1-ounce BU Silver Eagles. So that's the buy price. So, for example, if I'm getting $8 an ounce on Silver Eagles from other dealers out there, because I don't save them, I don't like to sell them to my customers. I usually blow them off to other dealers. So if other dealers are paying me around $8 an ounce per ounce, or $8 over spot on Silver Eagles, and I have a customer that comes in that wants to trade that, I'll probably buy them from the customer, as long as they're nice saleable rolls, for $7 over spot, and I'll sell them 100-ounce bars at spot plus $2.90. So what does that really mean? They're putting more silver in their pocket on the trade. So I really think that that's a great trade still, is trading out your Silver Eagles for generic 100-ounce bars or kilos or 10s or 1s. It's a good, safe trade, because, again, you're putting a lot more silver in your pocket. And the same thing with 90% silver as well. So that's my thoughts on silver. The best deals on gold are still gold bars, folks. Can't beat the price on gold bars. Spot plus 68 or $69 or less per ounce. And I think Eagles are still spot plus $150, a spot plus $140 over, 145. So double the price of what the premium is, double of what gold bars are. That is for gold American Eagles. So gold bars are still the best deal out there, and you can buy gold bars as cheap as, again, small quantities, spot plus $68, $69, and Eagles are around $145, $150, and then Krugerrands, Maple Leafs, and everything is in between. I like the idea of buying the gold bars because, my feeling is, if you're selling into a really big bull market in gold, all the premiums are going to disappear. When everyone starts selling, especially physical products, the premiums just disappear on all this stuff. So ideally, if you're selling into a bull market, the premiums are going to be disappearing on your gold Eagles. You're going to be getting about the same price as you would as a guy that has gold bars. So why pay that extra $70 per ounce, $75 per ounce on American Eagles when you can buy, again, the bars for $75 an ounce cheaper? I'd rather put less money up front especially considering that chances are with gold eagles and the other high premium stuff, that includes with silver eagles too, and 90%, you're never going to get that premium back, in my opinion, folks. So you stick with the lower premium products. This is my thoughts, just my opinion, and I'm going to stick with that. No silver for you. That was my Friday's video. Let me kind of go over some of the comments here. And I like that. I traded up to a full couple ounce. I'm waiting to stack silver. I refuse to pay the premiums. Problem is just the premiums are just stupid on silver. I think the premiums are lower right now, Journeyman, than they've been in a long time. So maybe they'll get a little bit lower. Maybe the price of silver will get a little lower, but I don't know if we're going to see that. I really don't. I think right now the premiums and the price are really good. I'd probably step in if I were you, but again, that's just my opinion. Do I think the new Moscow gold standard will happen? Time frame? No, I really don't follow that too much. That gets into, well, I guess I should, but I think at some point it's going to happen. I believe that for sure. You know, we're looking at a whole different monetary system being created by the BRICS nations and by countries that are de-dollarizing. So yeah, it'll definitely happen. I'm not quite sure what the impact on us will be. Maybe it's a bit too early to tell. But meanwhile, gold's still holding its I think it's holding very well on its own, considering all the other markets and everything that's going on, and all the bullshit, that manipulation that goes on in the gold market. Silver, again, that market's just freaking broken. And again, broken to the upside for the folks that are still buying these physical metals for cheap. The charts got broken. Yes, they have, Tree Climber. Thank you, Lyndon BS. What's going on? Tony A, I bought silver $8.90. You really need to stop around for a decent local coin deal when it comes to selling silver. Absolutely true, that's for sure. I always recommend shopping around. And speaking of shopping around, here's my shameless plug. If you live in South Florida, come see us at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in lovely Lauderdale by the Sea. We're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. We advertise to be at MEX, SD, and J and Bullion on our prices, on their prices for the more reasonably priced bullion products. As far as you folks that don't live in South Florida, if you're going to spend more than or buy more than 2,500 ounces of silver and more than 100 ounces of gold, contact us through conciergebullion.com. That's our business that we use for dealing the old school on the phone, the old and safe methods of shipping. But again, that's over 100 ounces of gold and over 2,500 ounces of silver. We advertise to be at MEX, SD, and J and Bullion. Also, the big guys like Miles Franklin. They're all great companies out there, all absolutely great companies. But I'm a highly competitive guy, and if you're going to go out there and compete against someone, you go out there and compete against the good guys. And that's what I'm doing. Well, anyway, there's my shameless plug. Where else am I going from here? Thanks for watching, Tony A. I appreciate that. Rick says, recovery processor, does all silver end up in landfills? There's a topic I talked about for the first couple years in my videos. I haven't spoken about in a long time. A lot of silver ends up in landfills. So that's the problem that we've got today as well, is that silver is really, a lot of silver solder out there. And I know there's not a lot, if you think about it, in small electronic devices, but add up these devices times billions and billions and trillions that really do end up in landfills. Yeah, a lot of silver does get thrown away. Probably also in the medical industry too, where silver is used to prevent the growing of bacteria and that kind of thing. I think in fabrics, sheets, and those, and doctors' clothing and masks, I believe. I could be wrong. But yeah, a lot of it does end up in landfills. Lily Tomlin, yeah, that's right. I talked about that. And Edith Ann, and that's the truth. Hey, thanks, Zane. What's going on? If you can't hold it in your hand, you don't own it. I agree with that 100%. You don't really own it. That's a risk. If someone else holding for you, you're incurring that additional risk that something might happen to them, no matter how well-intentioned they are. So I really believe holding stuff in your own hand is the smartest thing to do. And that's the beauty of gold, silver, and platinum. It's not like grain and gasoline where you have to have a place to store it. Gold and silver, you can store $1 million worth of gold in a toaster, man. So good storage of wealth, been around for 5,000 years. Thanks for commenting, T. Lee. Agree with you 100%. Roger Darnell, exactly. Keep buying. What does it look like when the list? What is gold? Gold always lies within the treasure chest. No bugs from me. Oh, always great comments. Listen, I'd like to thank everybody here for commenting. They're going to create their own comics. Yep, that's what we were talking about earlier. I'm reading this as you are, folks. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to look it over the comments. I've been pretty busy all weekend. Believe it or not, I was working on my car this weekend. I've got a C5 Corvette race car that I've always wanted to hit the track with. Finally getting the body work done. And that's where I spent about 10 hours of my weekend here. Not a lot, but enough after you worked a long weekend. Zane, living the dream, manipulation. All right, I'm kind of just looking for some questions here. Please hit that like button. Thanks for doing that if you haven't done it already. And hit that subscribe button just as much or just as well. And I'd like to thank everyone for their comments out there. I really appreciate that. Thanks, Chris, as well, new subscriber. Okay, that's it. This is Brian Kuzmar. As I've always said for the last year, this is my theme for the year. We're almost at the end of the year here. Maybe I can, I have really consistently used it since January, so I think I'm going to continue to use this little quote for the ending of my videos, which is think for yourself, question authority, and most of all, question yourself first. It makes it much easier to think for yourself and then question authority. Wrap your mind around that one. Hey, thanks for watching. This is Brian Kuzmar with ConciergeBullion.com. Contact me anytime if you're buying anywhere you live in continental U.S. If you're buying more than 100 ounces of gold and you're buying more than 2,500 ounces of silver, we can work the old school way via telephone and wires and secure shipping methods. And if you live in South Florida, no matter how much you're buying, between 1/10 of an ounce of silver and thousands of ounces of silver, and the same thing with gold, come by and see us at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. That's our brick and mortar store. Where's the picture? There it is right there, the corner. A little exaggerated, but that's us. We're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. Been in the same location since 1995. And I've been doing this since 1977, folks. Second generation dealer in precious metals and rare coins and paper money. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a wonderful evening. And let's see what happens tomorrow. And talk to you then. Bye now.